नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. This evening we are reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 4, Transcendental Knowledge, verse number 31. So this is a half verse. Nayam lokosmi Nayam lokosya Nayam lokasya janasya Nayam lokasya ayagyasya Nayam lokasya ayagyasya Kutonya kurutosama Kutonya kurusattama Nayam lokosti ayagyasya Kutonya kurusattama Nayam lokosya ayagyasya Kutonya kurutostama. Nayam lokosya ayagyasya Kutonya kurusattama Nayam lokosya ayagyasya Kutonya kurusattama. No, never. I am this Lokaha, planet. Asti, there is. Ayagyasya, for one who performs no sacrifice. Kutaha, where is. Anyaha, the other. Kurusattama, O best among the Kurus. Translation purported by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki. O best of the Kuru dynasty, without sacrifice one can never live happily on this planet or in this life. What then of the next? Purport. Whatever form of material existence one is in, one invariably ignorant of his real situation. In other words, existence in the material world is due to multiple reactions to our sinful lives. Ignorance is the cause of sinful life, and sinful life is the cause of one's dragging on material existence. The human form of life is the only loophole by which one may get out of this entanglement. The Vedas therefore give us a chance for escape by pointing out the path of religion, economic comfort, regulated sense gratification, and at last the means to get out of the miserable condition entirely. The path of religion or the different kind of sacrifice recommended above automatically solves our economic problems. By performance of yajna, we can have enough food, enough milk, etc. Even if there is a so-called increase of population, when the body is fully supplied, naturally the next stage is to satisfy the senses. The Vedas prescribe, therefore, sacred marriage for regulated sense gratification. Therefore, one is gradually elevated to the platform of release from material bondage, and the highest perfection of liberated life is to associate with the Supreme Lord. Perfection is achieved by performance of yajna, sacrifice, as described above. Now, if a person is not inclined to perform yajna according to performance, above, now if a person is not inclined to perform yajna according to Vedas, how can he expect a happy life even in this body? And what to speak of another body in another planet? There are different grades of material comforts in different heavenly planets, and in all cases there is immense happiness for persons engaged in different kind of yajna. But the highest kind of happiness that a man can achieve is to be promoted to the spiritual planets by practice of Krishna consciousness. A life of Krishna consciousness is therefore the solution to all the problems of material existence. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnanandjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So the translation again. O best of the Kuru dynasty, without sacrifice one can never live happily on this planet or in this life. What then of the next? So here before this, so Krishna explained about different kinds of sacrifices. So anyone knows how many sacrifices Krishna has mentioned? How many types? So you should know how many they are in number. Anyone knows exactly how many number of sacrifices Krishna mentioned?
Because he kind of describes
No, if you go to 425, I just will repeat 425 to 429. We'll just go for the translation. So you can go to verse 425. So you'll come to know what are the 12 kinds of sacrifices. Last few days you are hearing about different sacrifices. So I'll just read out the translation. Some yogis perfectly worship the demigods by offering different sacrifices to them, and some of them offer sacrifices in the fire of the Supreme Brahman. Then next, some, the unadulterated brahmacharis, sacrifice the hearing process and the sense in the fire of material control, and others, the regulated householders, sacrifice the objects of the senses in the fire of the senses. 27. Others who are interested in achieving self-realization through control of the mind and senses offer the functions of all the senses and of the life breath as oblations into the fire of controlled mind. 28. Having accepted strict vows, some become enlightened by sacrificing their possessions, and others by performing severe austerities, and by practicing the yoga of eightfold mysticism, or by studying the Vedas to advance in transcendental knowledge. Still others who are inclined to the process of breathing restrain to remain in trance, practically by offering the movement of the outgoing breath into the incoming and the incoming breath into the outgoing, and thus at last remain in trance, stopping all breathing. Others, curtailing the eating process, offer the outgoing breath into itself as a sacrifice. And last, yesterday it was told about two things. All these performers who know the meaning of sacrifice become cleansed of sinful reactions, and having tasted the nectar of the results of sacrifice, they advance towards the supreme eternal atmosphere. So here Lord Krishna has mentioned so far 12 kinds of sacrifices. So now Krishna is mentioning he is saying sacrifice is essential. So now Krishna will explain. Krishna before this he performed the merits of sacrificing, offering yajnas. Now Krishna explains, now he will speak about the demerits accrued to perform, and the one who doesn't perform. So what is the demerit? What is the this thing he is going to, what that fellow, how he is going to suffer? So here what we see, Krishna now he will explain about the demerits of not doing sacrifices. So in Bhagavad Gita 3.9, Krishna explains, Yajnat karmano netra lokoyam karma bandhanam tadatva karma kaunteya mukta sangha samacham. So in basically Krishna explains that for the yajna, for the Lord, we have to do Yajnat karmano netra lokoyam karma bandhanam. So if you don't do all the work for the Lord, then we get entangled for not doing the proper karma for the Lord. Because Prabhupada writes, one who doesn't offer anything to the Lord, he is only eating sin. So this way what we see, Krishna explains that whatever one is doing, one has to offer to him. So in material world we see that especially Christianity is the biggest religion. And like recently I was hearing one lecture. So in that one Maharaji explains that when the missionaries they went to African countries and they were telling the African aborigines that before eating we should meditate for 10 minutes. But they were doing already. These people, even they are aborigines, still they were following some kind of sacrifice. And literally if we see in this material world, in today's world, Prabhupada explains that sacrifice for yajna, for Kali Yuga is Yuga Dharma. So Prabhupada explains, if we perform Yuga Dharma, there will be sufficient food will be available. Then when one can have regulated marriage, then one can do Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, like that Prabhupada explains. So we should know the yajna for Kali Yuga is yajna. In the 10th chapter, Krishna explains that Yajnana Japa Yajnosmi. Also, Prabhupada explains that if we just do Kali Yuga, this Yajna, especially Harinam, so the rains will come, by rain we will get grains, and by offering Yajna to the Lord, so again after the rains we get grains, and this way if everyone is doing his work, so that is his Yajna for the Lord. And Prabhupada here in the beginning, purport he explains that ignorance is the cause of sinful life. Prabhupada explains, and this is a cycle. Because of ignorance, we lead for sinful life, and because of sinful life, one existence continues in the material world. It is a triangular series. It is going on in material world. So Prabhupada explains, whatever form of material existence one is in, one is invariably ignorant of his real situation. In other words, existence in the material world is due to multiple reactions to our sinful activities. So material world what we see, so everyone is multiplying his sinful activities. Especially in modern world, what we see, these multinational companies, they are all multiplying the sins. At least this was not there 50 years back. Mass killing, big slaughterhouses and all, it was not there at least what we see 50 years back. But now what is happening? This material world, our existence is because of our sinful activities. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, janani jatre shayanam. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur he explains in one bhajan, Anadi karma phale padi bhavar nava jale, tari bari na dekin upay. Anadi karma phale means anadi karma. Anadi means endless karmas. Because of endless karma, padi bhavar nava jale, I have fallen in the ocean of repeated birth and death. Tari bari na dekinu upay. So I am not getting any way out. So Prabhupada writes here, human form of life is the loophole. Anyone can explain what is loophole? It's a very loophole means, this is a medical term. Loophole means, so you have one, like they give one analogy in the ocean. If a wooden log is floating, you know wooden log, big ply. In that ply there is one small hole. Okay, now you know turtles, they come up for breathing. So in that wooden ply there is one hole. In that wooden ply in the ocean, one wooden ply is floating, and in that wooden ply there is one hole. Is there any surety that one turtle will come from that hole and take one breath? Well, that can happen. That is a very rare chance.
That's a very rare chance. That's called a miracle.
Yeah.
A loophole is a way to get out of doing your
Actually, Prabhupada,
responsibility.
in other words, he explains is the junction.
Yeah.
That is another word Prabhupada
In
explains.
India, the lawyers are very expert at finding loopholes in getting out of the
Yeah, we'll find
actual
some excuse.
situation. They'll find a great excuse.
Correct.
And that's what it means, loophole.
Just to, this is good excuse.
W.C. Fields was reputed to be reading the Bible, and somebody asked him, "Why are you reading the Bible?" He said, "I'm just looking for loopholes."
Correct. How to get out. So now, if you go to Bhagavad Gita, you can go to 727. What we can see what Krishna explains. Page 728. You can just check. So here Krishna explains, O son of Bharata, O conqueror of the foes, all the living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by dualities arising from desire and hate. Ichha dvesha samutvena dvandva mohena bharata. Now then if you go to 13.20, again Krishna explains. You can go to Bhagavad Gita 13th chapter 13.20. So there you will find how our repetition is going on because of Karanam Guna Sangasya, page 587. Krishna explains, material nature and the living entities should be understood to be beginningless. Their transformation and modes are 522 it should be. What it should be? Ichha dvesha samutvena dvandva mohena bharata. Karana, the living entity, that is 1322. The living entity in material nature thus follows the way of life, enjoying the three modes of nature. This is due to his association with that material nature. Thus he meets with good and evil among various species. So this is what we see material world. Everyone is going in different species of life. Then again if you go to 15 chapter 15.10, so here Krishna explains, in 15.10 Krishna explains that the foolish cannot understand how the living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of the modes of nature. But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this. One who is in knowledge, that's Pandita Samadarshana, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Brahmane Gavyastini, Shuni Charita Swapakicha, Pandita Samadarshana. So this way there are many verses where we can understand that because of ignorance in material world, and also in the Bhagavatam there is a very one nice verse, Labdva Sudurlabam Idam Bahu Sambhavante, means after many lifetimes, Prabhupada explains one has to come out of ignorance. The scriptures they explain that one has to come out of the ignorance. Idam Bahu Sambhavante, Labdva Sudurlabam. After many lifetimes, Sudurlabam, and it is very difficult. Bahu Sambhavante, very difficult. So human form of life, it is not so easily gotten. So one should know, Prabhupada explains, the role of Vedas is to help us escape. The Vedas, basically they are helping us to escape from this material existence. Prabhupada explains that, like he wants to quote from Vedanta Sutra. In Vedanta Sutra it is mentioned, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityumma Amritam Gamaya. That one should come out of darkness, one should come to light, and from death one should come to deathlessness. This is what Vedanta Sutra explains. So there is one nice verse in Kata Upanishad. So there it explains how one should wake up. Jiva Jago, Gaura Chandra Bole. So there it is mentioned, Uttishta Jagrata Prapya Varam Nibodata. So here it is mentioned, O living entities, you are sleeping in the material world, please get up and take advantage of your human form of life. The path of spiritual realization is very difficult. Still, it is the open of the transcendentalist. Still, one has to take to the path of spiritual life. So, in the Bhagavatam 11th canto, it is mentioned that how it is mentioned after many births and death, one achieves the rare human form of life, which although temporary affords one the opportunity to attain the highest perfection. Thus, a sober human being should quickly endeavor for the ultimate perfection of life, as long as his body, which always subject to death, has not fallen down and died. After all, sense gratification is available even in the most abominable species of life, whereas Krishna consciousness is possible only for human being. Even Rishabdev, he tells his sons, Nayam Deva Deva Bhajan Loke Kastan Kaman Harhate Tapo Divyam Putrakayana Tasmat Brahma Saukyam Tavanam. Rishabdev, he told his sons that the sense gratification is available in all species of life. Prabhupada explains hogs, dogs, camels, and they are also struggling for food. But human form of life, it is meant for tapasya. So in material world, what we see here, Prabhupada explains that in material world, people are basically more inclined to dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So what it is called in Shastras, four, what it is called? Yeah, these are four. What is it? No, it is not. No. These are four kinds of these things. Arthas. So this one terminology used. These are no. It is dharma, artha, kama, moksha. These are four benefits of human life. I'll just recall. So this way, what happens? First one has to perform his dharma. Especially this is meant for human being. So whatever dharma he is following, so after performing his dharma, he is going to get some artha, some economic development. From economic development, he can enjoy his senses, family life, whatever it is. Then ultimately he has to look for the moksha. What is the loophole? How I can get out of this material world. So what Prabhupada here he is explaining that dharma gives one artha, path of religion. Then Prabhupada explains after artha comes kama. When the body is fully satisfied, next stage is to satisfy the senses. Therefore the Vedas prescribe sacred marriage for regulated sense gratification. So this way what we see that in one sense in all different religions, what you see in material world, let it be Christianity, Buddhism, Muslim, so every religion there is dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So what they say, ultimately we go to the heaven. In Muslim they say we go to Jannat. The Buddhists also they say we go to Allah. What we say we go to back home, back to Godhead. But we should understand that in different religion, even the abolitionists also, they also have some kind of religion. Like in Christianity, people have mass prayers. There are different kinds of they call mass. So people in large number they gather. They have candle prayers like that. And Muslims, it is mentioned that one should go to mosque 5 times a day, looking towards Makkah. He should pray. And also they have certain festivals. What we see, like now Ramzan will come, so they don't eat in the daytime. They eat only before sunrise and after sunset. So there are different these things are given in Muslim. They want to explain. If you remain hungry, you come to know the pangs of hunger. When you remain hungry, you come to know the pangs of hunger. How a hungry man feels like. Also sometimes what we see, they do Muharram. They take out the blood. This is one kind of sacrifice they are doing. They say it is a sacrifice we are doing for the Lord. They beat with a knife on the chest very heavily. And once in lifetime they want to go to Makkah. So also now we see Sikhism, it is a part of Hindu religion. So they were Sikhs, they were made just to protect the Hindu religion. but now they are independent religion. So they have 5 things in, they hold 5 things. That's called 5K. Kesha, Khadga, Kangan, like that. They have 5 items they keep. Also they go to their religious place, Amritsar, like that, Golden Temple. There are different religions, people have their different samskaras. So this way what happens, so this is what is mentioned in the 12, what Krishna he mentioned 12 path. So this one has to follow, if one is following his religion. Even when Prabhupada went to the West, what he said, I am the pure Christian because I am not killing anyone. Prabhupada he told the Christian priest that yes, I am also a follower of Jesus. I am acting as per the Jesus instructions. Are you following that? No. So also in the Bhagavatam it is mentioned, Savai Pumso Paro Dharmo Yato Bhaktir Adokshaje. Paro Dharma means the highest religion is to worship the Supreme Lord Ahetuki Apratihata, without any remuneration, and the devotion service should be continuous. So how many people they do in the material world? Today's world people, they don't want dharma, they want only artha and kama. Forget about moksha. Today what you see, artha and kama, instant sense gratification. Everyone wants instant sense gratification, just touch screen, everything touch screen. So this is what is going on material world. But we should know that this human form of life, let it be, if one is following any kind of religion, what Prabhupada explains, that anyone is following any kind of religion, if he is following that perfectly, that is his perfection. It is not that Prabhupada, even he told many people that they need not to change their religion. They can follow their own religion, whatever religion they follow, but they should try to develop a love either for Allah or for Jesus. So this way, even when Prabhupada propagated Krishna consciousness, so he told even these people, yes, you can be a pure. Even when Prabhupada went to Iran, Prabhupada was there in Iran one time preaching. So there he was preaching to this Muslim clergyman, and he was telling that yes, you follow your religion purely, so gradually you will elevate. So this way what we see, the human form of life, so there are different varieties of religion. They are basically, today's world what we see, these religions, they are created by people. In one sense what we see, Christianity, Muslim, the other religions, they are created by mankind only. Jesus, what he told, I am the son of God. He never told I am God. Even Muhammad, he said I am the messenger of God. So in that sense, the people, they will never inquire, yes, what is the highest. So this way one has to know, yes, there is something higher when we are following the perfect path that is initiated according to the different path. If one is following, there is a chance that he will achieve perfection. So recently, like 2 weeks back, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, his disappearance day was there, and I was reading his biography, his own biography, Swalikit Jeevani. Actually, his children, they told him to write towards his old age. So he has written his biography, very nice. So in that, what he explains about his maternal grandfather. So he explains that his maternal grandfather, he was a fish eater, but he was a yogi, Ashtanga yogi. And when his maternal grandfather was about to leave the body, also his maternal grandfather was a smoker. He used to drink hookah and all. He writes everything. So what he explains, that when he was about to leave the body, he came out of the house and he sat in Ashtanga yoga, and he awakened his chakra, body chakras. There are different chakras. Ashtanga yoga, there are 8 different chakras. So he have to take out the soul from the heart, which is, there are 5 airs situated in the heart. So gradually by the different chakras, Mooladhara chakra, so ultimately the soul, if the soul leaves the body from, there is one hole called Brahmarandra. What you see in your hair, there is one round, this thing in the center, in the top, that's called Brahmarandra. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur was sitting in front of him, and he blessed Bhaktivinoda Thakur, you will become a very good religious pious man. He blessed before leaving the body, and sitting in that posture, the soul came out from the Brahmarandra, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes that he saw a light coming from his body and just going into the sky. So that is in the olden time what we see, different kinds of yoga practices are there, and there is a Kundalini yoga. So different people are there practicing. Even Krishna, he told Arjuna all these yogas. But what Prabhupada explains, that Krishna consciousness is the only solution to all the problems, because there is no higher level of happiness in other things, because there is a higher level of happiness. And Prabhupada oftentimes he explained that Krishna consciousness, everything is first class. In Krishna consciousness, everything first class. In material world we see other religions and all. So there you can't categorize. People are, there is a saying, the face is the index of mind. So you can see from the people's face how they are living. And when Prabhupada he changed the hippies into happies. So when Prabhupada used to explain, these devotees, they look like they are coming from Vaikuntha. Like one time I had gone for one program in Amritsar, Punjab. So there one devotee, he was asking, what kind of face cream you devotees use? Because material world everyone is using just to make his face glow, some face cream. But what he was telling, the devotees, their face is naturally shining. So they need not to use any face cream. So material world, what we see, people, they make show religion. In India also now, there are many people, they are keeping Ganesh, Durga. So when the festival is over, so they will drown the Ganesh, they will drown the Durga, gone. If you see, like in Calcutta, in Bombay, so all these people, they are like seasonal devotees. So according to the season, when the Durga season comes, they will go 9 days to the Durga temple without slippers and all. So they are just interested in their sense gratification. So they don't want to know beyond that. But what we see, still they are not happy. Although they are getting their sense gratification. Now in India there is a big trend, people are going to Shirdi. Actually this Sai Baba, he was a Muslim fakir. Now he has become so famous. Literally in India, that temple trust has 7,000 crore FD. Can you imagine how much they are getting? After Balaji, this is the second highest visited and cash wise. But this is all what we see, people, they are going out of ignorance. So material world, whatever we do, so if it is not done in a proper manner, so Rishabdev, he gives a very nice understanding. He explains in the Srimad Bhagavatam 5th canto, there is one nice verse by Rishabdev. So he explains, Parabhavastavat abodhajato yavanna jigyasata atma tattvam. So what he explains, as long as one does not inquire about the spiritual values of life, one's life is defeated and subject to miseries arising from ignorance, be it sinful or pious. Karma has its resultant reactions. If a person is engaged in any kind of karma, his mind is called karmatmaka. In material world, everyone is engaged in karma. Let it be any religion, all they are engaged in some kind of karma, colored with fruitive activity. As long as one's mind is impure, consciousness is unclear, and as long as one is absorbed in fruitive activities, he has to accept another material body. Very nice translation Prabhupada has given. So material world, what we see, so people today's world, they feel content. Okay, I went there, I went here. In India also, people, they have a contentment. They say, I did Char Dham. What they feel, okay, I done my part. Now I am entitled for moksha. That is what is not the real truth. But unless they come to Krishna consciousness, nothing good can happen. Material world, what we see, people, they are following manodharma. You know what is manodharma? What your mind says you do. If you stand in front of some temple and you just watch, people are coming and going and they offer their own way. Some will do like this, some will like this, some they will like this, some they will pull their ears. So this way they are having their own manodharma. Whereas when you come to bhakti, the moment you enter the temple, you knock at the door, You bow down, you offer pranam, then you go to Prabhupada, then you go to the deities one by one. You have the hierarchy. But in the material world, people, those are following their own manodharma. So they do any kind of thing, like offering anything to their deities, whatever. Like in Vrindavan also, many people, they want to give charity. On Ekadasis, they are giving biscuit to the people, biscuit. What kind of charity they are doing? And some people nowadays, they are bringing chocolates to the deities. That is not mentioned in the scriptures, that you can take some chocolates to the deities. It is not mentioned. Fruits or grains or flowers, these three things are mentioned. So literally what we see today's world, people, they are following manodharma. Manodharma means what your mind says, you do like that. So gradually, day by day, people are deviating. They are not following the exact laid down path. So then they are going to get the reaction. So what here Krishna explains, if one is not following the prescribed path, then he will not be happy in this life, and also he will not get a good life next life. That is what is going to happen. Because even if one thinks, yes, I have done my part and I am going to be elevated to the higher destination, and that can't happen. What Prabhupada explains, you can't barge into the kingdom of God. You know what is barge in the sense, just get in. That can't happen. Like recently I was visiting Jagannath Puri. So somebody was telling, like Indira Gandhi, she went to Jagannath temple by force. The Pandas, they didn't want her to come. So there are some secret, these things we should understand. So next day she was killed. She came back to Delhi and next day she was shot down. And same thing happened with her son, Rajiv Gandhi. He also went to Jagannath Puri. By force he went to the temple, and next day he was killed in South India. So the Pandas, they told, this is a graphic, real truth. So this way, what people, they think is, I can enter. But Prabhupada, because of his, leniency or his mercy, so he said, I have a backdoor key. So you should know what is the backdoor key means. So you can enter from the back door. So once you are inside, Krishna is not going to ask.
Back door is the servant.
Yeah, servant door. Like I know when I was a kid, we used to play football in the rainy season and we used to get dirty. So our father used to be sitting in front of the next door, in the front door. So we used to come from the back door into the house and we used to take shower and we used to come in front of him in clean dress. So he never came, used to come to know, yes, we came dirty. So Prabhupada has given us some loopholes. He has told, okay, do 16 rounds, 4 regular principle. This is for more than sufficient if we follow. So we'll see into the commentary of our Acharyas. So Sridhar Swami, he has given a big commentary. But in short, what he explains, Lord Krishna is indirectly stating that for one's ultimate well-being, one must perform yajna as a way of life without reservation. So whatever kind of one person is following religion, so he should do his yajna. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he explains, the results of not acting in this way are described in this verse. Now he is explaining, one does not perform yajna, does not attain the little happiness available on this planet. What to speak of attaining in the Deva Lokas. So in India, many people, what they feel, yes, if I am doing my religious duties, I am going to go to the heaven. What is their understanding? But that can't happen. So then Baldev Vidyabhushan, he writes that the fault in not performing the sacrifice is described here. He who does not perform the sacrifices just described, ayagyasya, does not achieve this material world. That is next, ayam loka, of artha, dharma, artha, kama and moksha. So he explains that for human being, this purushartha, what I was trying to explain, that 4 things, they are called the purushartha, dharma, artha, kama and moksha. They are called 4 purusharthas, and devotional service is called panchama purushartha, 5th purushartha. Purushartha means that which you attain highest in the human form of life. So dharma means everyone has his dharma, then artha, then again kama and moksha. So ultimately we should know one should know where he is heading. So one should know, yes, where he is heading. Let anyone follow any kind of religion. So he should know what is his ultimate destination. So but the Panchama Purushartha, what we should understand is that attaining the abode of the Lord. Then Madhvacharya, he explains, the sole purpose of existence is one should wholeheartedly engage in yajna without reservation. One should consider one's life as oblation offered to the Supreme Lord in full surrender, following the injunctions recommended in the Vedic scriptures. He explains from Brahma Vaivat Puran, it is stated that one should realize the Supreme Lord as the yajna and propitiate him with body, mind and words. Then again he explains that when the Brahman or the spiritual substratum pervading all existence has been pursued, then the relation between the performer and the activity performed is being revealed. So then Ramanujacharya also he explains that person who does not perform yajna or offering of worship to propitiate the Supreme Lord, and who does not perform the regular occasional duties as prescribed in the Vedic scriptures according to Varnashram or their rank in situations of life, such a person deviates absolutely. So Ramanujacharya writes that whatever is being laid down, like what we see, like there are 42 samskaras mentioned for the human beings. Some samskaras they are performed once in lifetime, some they are done every day, some they are done monthly, some once in a year. Like Shraddha, it is once a year. Then Agnihotra, it is every day. And one is once in lifetime, that is Mrityu Samskar, that everyone should know. So all these samskaras, there are different samskaras. If you see in India now also, there are many Karmakandi Brahmanas, South Indians Brahmanas. When they come to Vrindavan, even the Pandas, they fear them. They say, these guys, they are very Karmakandis. They are very punctual. And if you go to literally South India, so now also they are following what is mentioned, what is laid down in the scripture. Everything, even from purifying the body, from purifying different things. So they do everything. All rituals they do. From even for the children, they are doing all the rituals what are mentioned in the scriptures. All the purificatory rites. So Prabhupada explains there are 10 basically samskaras which has to be performed by Brahmanas, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas. And Shudras, there is not much mention of samskaras. Even if you go to India now in remote places also, like many Shudras, they don't follow any samskaras. Yeah, I'll take question in the end.
Just I am a Brahmin of Tamil Nadu.
Yeah.
Our Guru Maharaj gave me double initiation at a time. He have been doing all this Gayatri Japa, Satyavandram, Madhyam,
Correct.
everything. So he understood that I am already very highly religious minded. So he gave this initiation at a time, same day.
Okay, great. Good. So what we see, people they are following, and those who are following the true path, so they are going to achieve the higher destination. And Krishna here, he's putting the emphasis is that those who won't do, like in one time what happened, one fellow he met Prabhupada and he was asking Swamiji, if there is no spiritual world, what will be the fate of those who are doing devotion? Very nice question, isn't it? What will be the fate? All your life you didn't do any sense gratification, your life is gone waste. So Prabhupada said, if supposing there is, and if there is hell, don't worry about that. And if there is a hell, what will be your destination? So that fellow, he was shivering. So when Mrigari, he was following his way of life, what his ancestors had told. But when Narada Muni, he told him the reality, when he showed him the reality, so he came to his senses. Okay, now what Narada Muni is telling me, I should follow that. So this way people are following because of ignorance. So they are following what they are being told. Now what we see, like in Bible also, meat means actually it is sweet. But now the people literally take it for animal flesh. Like totally they have changed. Many these things, terminologies, they have changed. But why people are getting benefit out of reading Bhagavad Gita? Because it is coming in the parampara. It is untouched by these Mayavadis and other people. And literally what we see, Prabhupada Gita, it is having an effect on the people, those who are reading. And those who are really at pure at heart, so that medicine will work. So when we distribute books, so gradually the book, it reveals. It has the power, Prabhupada books has the power to change the heart of people. So one time one devotee was telling that two blind persons, they were on the neck and speaking to each other. So one person from South Africa, one from USA. So this from USA, he asking that I am now reading this Bhagavad Gita and there that it is written one should eat prasadam, one should eat prasadam. What is this prasadam? So that this blind man is writing to this guy, and this blind devotee, he was a devotee, he told one devotee from Vrindavan to send prasad to America to that person. So you can understand, even a blind person, if he gets the right knowledge, he can follow the path. So there are people like in Bombay, literally you see every day 25 to 30 people they die under the train. Not blind people, those who have eyes. Bombay, in a year about 3,500 people die, average, only under the train, because they want to make a quick way from one platform to another. They don't take the overbridge. So but whereas blind man, there is no reporting of blind man, he came under the railway. They are following very perfectly. They are very sensitive when they are walking, sitting, whatever they are doing. So this way, if one is following the right path, so Krishna explains that if one doesn't follow, then what will be his fate. So we should be knowing, yes, if we don't follow, what will be the cause and effect. So Hare Krishna. So anyone has any comment? Want to tell something? So basically here Krishna here concludes that ayagya means one who doesn't follow the yagya, prescribed yagya, then they will have no good existence in this life and they will not have a good existence in the next life. That is what Krishna is explaining here. So Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Shri Prabhupada ki, the Bhagavad Gita ki, Jai. Hare Krishna.